Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of Think Outside Yourself. My name is Brendan Chalucci. I'm your host, and with me is my good friend, Denarii Beard. Denarii, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Chief. Thanks for having me today. I'm excited to be on today.
Well, I'm glad you're here as well. A little introduction about Denarii. He was a two-sport athlete in high school. He ran track, played football so well that he ended up going to Cortland University. And he graduated there with a degree of sports management with a minor in business. And now he's actually, not only was he a student there, but now he's also a staff member and a development associate at Penn Charter, where he also on the side is an assistant football coach, which is awesome to see him keep his roots within the school that we went to, and I want to dive right into that school. So going back to Penn Charter and going from going to school there to now working there, what does Penn Charter mean to you?
Penn Charter means a lot to me, honestly. I might tear up on this one, but Penn Charter, honestly, it means a lot. Just a quick little story. My first 2 years at Penn Charter, I was struggling really hard. Didn't know if I was going to make it out of Penn Charter. For those who are listening, Penn Charter is a really rigorous education, and it demands a lot from us, both on the academic side and on the athletic side. So it was really rough. I was struggling my first 2 years, and I wanted to give up on myself. I really didn't see myself at Penn Charter for all 4 years because just of the workload, and I really wasn't getting any information, grasping onto it. So I really gave up to myself. So it means a lot to me because I stuck with it. And it wasn't just because I stuck with it. It was the people in my corner. It was my coaches that helped me get along my way, the teachers who helped me get along this way too. So it's a full circle moment, and I'm just blessed to be back, honestly.
I'm so glad you say that, and I just want to put out there to those that are listening as well. It's just another instance of just showing that you're not alone. I'm sure there are a ton of kids that go to Penn Charter now that went there when we went there that were going through the same thing. I mean, my freshman year, I went through the same thing as well. You know that better than anybody. And going back to Penn Charter on a more positive note, what do you think are some of your favorite memories from Penn Charter?
My first one is PCGA Day. Once again, PCGA Day is one of the biggest traditions at Penn Charter. One of the biggest traditions for high school football alone, as well as just for our school as alone. We hold one of the biggest rivalries against Germantown Academy. It's been going on for many, many, many years. Just have been an amazing rivalry. That's my first one. My second one has to be Color Day.
Color Day. Captain over here. Captain.
Color Day is another great community-based event. It's basically every grade gets to compete. We have two colors. We have our blue and yellow. Go blue. Always go blue.
Go yellow.
And each grade does one race, and it's just awesome just to see the little kids compete, all the way growing up all the way to the senior class doing the tug of war as our final event for Color Day. So it's just an amazing experience seeing all the little kids just compete, having a good time. Everyone, the whole community gets together and just loves this moment and just cherishes Color Day.
Yeah, absolutely. They're so, and those are two just prime senses of camaraderie that you experience. I mean, for those that don't know, PCGA Day, it's Penn Charter versus Germantown Academy. We have all of our sports play each other in the fall on the same day. It's awesome. Alum and current students and parents, they all come out. It's just awesome. It's great to see. And that football game is something serious at the end. I'm always thankful I was able to watch you play in that. So talking about football a little bit, how did Penn Charter prepare you for both football and also in the classroom going into college?
I think Penn Charter prepared me for both football and college it helped me a lot with just knowing my time management, understanding time management. We all get 24 hours in the day, but how are we going to use our 24 hours? And I think
Yeah.
that's the most important thing that Penn Charter really instilled in me is just making sure I'm using all my time in that 24 hours to great use. So just to give an example, Chooch and I play sports at Penn Charter. So we most of the times don't get home every day until 7 o'clock. And then on top of that, we have to get 2 hours of homework done too. So it really gave me that focus of just locking in, understanding what I need to do at that exact moment, what I need to prepare for the next day and going forward. So I think that helped me a lot from the college aspect. I think it transitioned a lot more over to once I went to college and played football as well, because of just understanding more. Now the workload for college football is a lot more than high school football. So now you have to understand once again how to probably manage your time. And football now, most of the times, especially in season, we're probably getting film. So we're probably in the building for 3 or 4 hours, 6 hours tops.
Yeah.
Maybe most just every day. And that's 6 hours a day that's gone just dedicated to football. So I just understand that I still have to do all my homework, study for tests, and get ready for the next day. So it's just understanding how to use my time wisely is the first thing I think Penn Charter really instilled in me. And then I think another big thing that Penn Charter really instilled in me is just being myself. I think Penn Charter has a really just an open space to really you can grow into your own self. It's not a lot of judgment at Penn Charter, mostly not judgment at all, honestly.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different story at Penn Charter, which is a main reason why I love Penn Charter, because of everybody's story is different. It's
Everybody's unique in their own way. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's just understanding that, growing into my own self and developing the person I want to be going forward.
For sure. And I really like what you said about the time management, because it is so important. Like we all come in different shapes, sizes, like genetics, all that stuff. But the one thing that is level on the playing field is the time that we have.
Absolutely.
You have 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do with it?
Absolutely.
Are you going to screw around, or are you going to make the most of it? And I really like that you touched on that, because it was something they did really well. And absolutely, just like we're all our own individuals, and being in an environment where you can really just be yourself and not worry about what anyone else thinks, that's the best type of environment. And so as we're on the topic of Penn Charter, like we said, like I had said earlier, you have a job there now, which is really awesome to see. You just come full circle, and I know you're enjoying it greatly. So what is it like being a part of a faculty where you're the youngest one?
I think it's different. I was not expecting to come back to Penn Charter after college. I feel like that's everybody's persona. We moved from PC, but it's different. I think the biggest thing I had to get used to was calling all of our teachers by first names now.
Really?
So more Mr. and Mrs. X, Y, and Z. It was just more of this first name basis now, because a lot of my teachers wanted me to call them by first name because I was a faculty. And that was the moment I really realized that becoming a faculty member, I was a faculty member now. So it was just actually, it's great though. It's great. I love it. I get all the students come up to me. We just talk just regular, like I'm just a regular student to them. Don't say that actually. And then just understanding just how the students are, and if they can have someone that can talk to that's a little younger, and just understand what they're going through, because I've been through it not too long ago. So I understand every aspect that they're going through. So it's actually been great.
I think that like they definitely look at you in a different way that they might look at the rest of the staff, just because of the fact that you were their age not too long ago. When I know when we were in high school, we wouldn't talk to the older teachers about the stuff that we're going through, because like who knows when they were at our age what they experienced, stuff like that. So that I think that's something that's really important, and you may not know it, but you may be helping change those kids' lives in more ways than you even realize, because of the fact that you're there for them, that you're able to watch over them, not only as kind of a friend, but also as a faculty member, which is, I think, is really cool.
Absolutely.
So now Denarii is too humble to talk about this, but in his short time at PC, he has already gotten a promotion. And also he's gotten a new car. So shout out to DB for grinding his ass off. Now I want you to talk about like the fact that you've made such good strides in such short time. What is it that motivates you there? What is it that is keeping you going in there every day and working your ass off?
It's my parents. It's my family. It's my friends. It's basically my inner circle that I really talk a lot to, basically every day on a daily basis. And it's just seeing like for example, to see my parents just grind and just making sure that my brother and I are straight and whatever we do. And it's really just like, it's humbling. It really means a lot to me because, family's a lot to me, honestly. And just seeing like all of them just do that grind, get in the grind, keep their head down, keep working, striving for that greatness that we always talk about. It's important. And just seeing my friends doing the same thing always just keeps me motivated. We always just see my friends and I just want better for each other. And I think that's the most important thing, is just always seeing what's best for us and getting what's better for us. So I think that fire just lights up every day because I know, one, my friends are not just laying down doing nothing.
Yeah.
I know my parents are not doing the same either. So like, it's just like, I can't be doing that. So I know I have to just strive for that greatness as well too. So that's
it's so important to have that inner circle, that circle that's going to keep you going, that's going to push you on the days that you don't want to. Your friends, your family, the ones that are actually thinking about you during the day, or you are making sure that you get your work in just as much as they're getting their work in. And it's contagious. Like, I know that, like, me and Adam talked about this last week. When I see DB doing well and I want to do well, it inspires me more. When we see Adam doing well, we want to do better. Like, it's contagious and it's awesome. And speaking of work being contagious, I want to talk about football. Like you've told me before, footballs have huge rosters up to almost, like, especially in college, up to 100 guys. I want to know, first and foremost, you've played football all your life. What has it taught you that you take? Basically, what has it taught you that you bring into every day in your life now?
I think it's just the grind. I think that's the biggest part, is the grind. Football, especially in college, is a grind. During any season, even if it's off season, it's a grind. So I think just the grind of, you got to get up and get your work done. Make sure you get your work done. That really a lot is what football has taught me. Just having that grind, making sure you're always on time, making sure you're always there in general, make sure you're paying attention to what the coaches are giving you for those meetings, and make sure you're really a high detail person. And I think I carry that over a lot with work now. I think I bring that a lot to work, of just looking for those high details that some people might miss. I might pick up just because I'm looking at different things as they are. So I think it's just that all those things.
You have your own unique way or your own individual way of looking at things that some other people may not.
Absolutely.
Like see in the same way. That's very interesting. I never really thought of it that way. Absolutely. So I want to dive in a little deeper to your position. I know that you've played a lot of different positions on defense, but your primary position, from what I've known you, from the time that I've known you, was defensive back. And it's very commonly known that defensive back is one of the hardest positions in all of sports, like, regardless. So is it, I want to know, is it hard to stay confident at a position that is, like, very hard to be consistently successful at?
It is. Everybody, especially everybody knows playing a defensive back, like, your biggest goal is not having a touchdown catch on you, or just a reception called on you as well. So it's all those things it makes you nervous, it makes you worrisome, but like playing those positions, you have to have a big ego and a small memory. So just understanding that every time, just because I'll get a ball called on me, there's still 30 more snaps is being played still, or 40 more snaps. So I have to forget about that one play and move on to the next one, because if you keep harping on that one play, especially at college coaches, they see that. They
Say that, DB. Say that. Yes.
They see you're frustrated, and they keep going right at you.
Yes.
So you have to, especially for a DB, you have to have that big ego and small memory so you can just keep moving forward and on to the next play. And our coach talked a lot about a tennis ball reaction. If you throw a tennis ball, it comes right back at you. That's how fast your the next play should be for you as well too. So that's how I love that as well too.
I love that, man, and that's so important, not just in football but in all sports. Having a small or a short memory as well. It's just being able to understand, like, even if it's one instance, one moment, or even a day, or even a game, or even a couple games, you got to just be able to wipe it because it's the past. You can't change the past, but the only thing that you can control is your future.
Absolutely.
So that's so important.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're spitting out. Like you said, like you see guys like Jalen Ramsey, Richard Sherman, those guys that are prime examples of having big egos, and they may get a lot of hate for it, but that's a reason they're one of the greats. They know what they need to do to be great. They have that swagger. They have that confidence. It's so important, and I'm glad you brought that up.
And some guys even use that big ego as that fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't notice that, but a lot of people like those Jalen Ramsey and those Richard Sherman, that ego brings their fuel. And that's a really important part for a football player. I think for athletes is always like, what brings that fire in you? And I think that's what makes a difference between like the college and to like that next level and to making it to any of those leagues is how do you keep that fire going every time you step on that field?
Yeah, I like it's so like the one thing I've noticed coming from high school to college to pro ball is there's so many guys that have so much talent, but are you able to be consistent? Are you able to have that fire every time you go out there? It's something that I've struggled with in my life for sure. Is are you able to be that dog that you say you are every single time you are out there? It's not just sometimes, it's not just every other day, it's every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. It is
100%. And so speaking of some like adversity that you may face in sports, I know that you've struggled with like a couple injuries you've had in your life, which is some. I know that there can be some dark times when it comes to that. Would you mind talking a little bit about where your mind was at when you were going through those injuries, and how did you stay motivated through them?
It is. I'm not gonna lie. It is very hard to stay motivated during those injuries, but I think my biggest motivation when I'm injured is my teammates. I know my teammates are putting themselves on the line every day on that field, especially on game days. It hurts me to see that I'm not going to war with them. So I think getting back on the field is just want to be on just be on that field with your brothers. Just with your brothers, putting yourself on the line with your brothers because you know they're going to do the same for you. So I think that's the biggest thing that keeps me motivated during the injury is just my teammates. And then honestly, it's just having that support system while you're injured too, because you're right, injury, especially if you're out for a long period of time, it takes a toll on you, and it really affects your mental.
It gets lonely.
It does get lonely because at the end of the day, when your boys are on the field, you're still on that sideline, and you feel that, and you just feel that, and you feel even how the outcome of the game comes, you still feel like you left. You still feel like that emptiness is still there for you because you didn't do anything that contribute to that win or to that loss. So I feel like it's just like my motivation, especially during injuries, just get back on the field, my team. Always get back on my field, the team. Because I'm a big team guy, and I just love getting back on the team.
You are. Yeah.
And just understanding this, we got to win. We got to do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah. No, and it's so important to have guys like you when it comes to, especially in big teams, like you said, like football. Like you have so many. You have special teams. You have offense, defense. It's so important for every guy to be locked in for that one common goal, like you said. Now, obviously.
One second. Also, I want to talk about just you staying engaged with your teammates while you're hurt, especially when you're hurt. Because a lot of the younger kids that are on the team notice that one of their leaders are hurt, they're not being engaged. It hurts them. They need that vocalness. They still need that leadership from you that helps them keep them motivated as well too. So I think
Absolutely.
that's another big key takeaway to staying engaged during injuries, understanding
Yeah.
the new formations you have to get into, the new fronts you have to get into. So just and then when you get ready to get back on that field, like you know what's already going on, you understand what's going on. So I think that's the biggest part too, is just staying engaged even while hurt.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. Like you never it's just another instance of you never know who's watching. You never know whose life you could be impacting when it comes to that. Like being such a team guy like you are, like a lot of people look up to you. So what are you going to do with that responsibility? If things go bad for you, they can't just go bad for everybody else. You got to stay strong.
Absolutely.
And I'm really glad you brought that up. Now, and speaking of your leadership, has that changed at all, like your perspective, not only on leading a team, but just football in general, from coaching as opposed to playing? Like, what are the differences that you've noticed in your like day-to-day mentality?
I think my day-to-day mentality now really hasn't changed that much. Like we talked about a little earlier, like these kids, I only really see the kids for about 3 hours a day. I'm really my office is not on campus, so it's basically it's across the street, but it's not technically on campus. So I don't really see the kids all the time.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like that mentality hasn't left us. That leadership has still been there, and making sure the kids ask questions, because asking questions, especially on the football field or any sport, is very important because you want to understand correctly how your job is and what you need to do in that job.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just that leadership mentality still takes a big pull on me, because these, like we talked about, these kids look up to me, and I want to show a good example, show them how to become better leaders in their own selves as well, and then carry that forward, moving on to their college careers.
No, absolutely, Matt, and I'm glad you said that, because like people will say it over and over like a broken record, but it's really true, is that there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Absolutely.
Like even if a question is the most basic thing that everyone should know, I'd rather you say it over and over again until I know you know it than just flip a coin on whether you do know it or not.
Absolutely.
Like it's so important, and like, so for anybody listening out there, just ask questions. It's okay to ask questions.
Ask questions.
Always okay, because you want to make sure you know it.
Absolutely.
Now, to another important team in our lives, the Eagles. Let's talk about the Eagles a little bit.
Talk about it.
Are we the real deal?
We are the real deal this year. The reason why I say that is because we're complete all around. I think our only hole that we really need to fill right now is our linebacker position. But I think we are the real deal this year. If our O-line can stay healthy as well, because we did have a few injuries this Sunday, so we have to see how the O-line looks. But because shifting O-lineman is really that's a big ask for any O-lineman to do, because a lot of these, when one O-lineman gets hurt, a lot of these O-linemen start moving around, so they have different assignments, and so that takes a big part of just all the injuries and just making sure we stay healthy. I think we can go. We can go this year. Yeah. We got the guys. We got the talent all around to go. And, Jalen's been playing well. He's been throwing the ball pretty well. He's been running pretty well. So if he can continue doing that, I think we're looking good. We look like the real deal.
It's awesome that you say that, because those are the types of things that people, like, I don't know, that have never played football, but they love the Eagles. They don't know that. Right. So it's really cool to hear like the intricacies of that. Right. And I would just like to put it on the record that I said 2 years ago when we drafted Jalen Hurts that we would win a Super Bowl. I did say that. So just for everybody's sake, know that I called this shit. But anyway, back to so. What do you think about our receiving core? Are you excited about do you think the dynamic duo of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith is like one of the top wide receiver duos in the league?
I think it is one of the top in the league because they complement each other well. As you see a lot this year, AJ has been a lot of our slant guy, going the middle guy, any of those deep crossing routes. So, and that's what we really were missing, honestly, from this team was just one of those bigger type bodies that can go across the middle, can take hits across the middle from those linebackers, from the screaming linebackers. So I think, and then to carry on to Devontae, Devontae has the speed, but I don't think a lot of people realize how tough Devontae is.
Yeah.
I think this week he got popped a couple of times against the Cardinals, and then he popped right back up. But he also gives us, both guys give us another vertical threat. And not even just complimented it to them two, we also have another great tight end who's doing amazing with Dallas. He's doing a great job with as in his role too, and he also leads the league right now with yards after catch, which we call that yak. So so we also he's doing well. And it's hard to guard. You can't double team everybody on the field. So just having those three options, honestly, and I'm not excluding everybody, but we still got Quez and we still got Miles. So it's just this happened, but those top three guys, it gives a lot of options for offenses to do a lot of different things and get all those three guys the balls at different times.
Mm-hmm. So if we end up going to the Super Bowl, which, man, I hope we do, who do you think we would face from the AFC?
Right now, I have two AFC teams. I have the Chiefs, and I got the Bills. The Bills.
The Bills are nasty, man.
The Bills. I've been watching the Bills a lot more this year, and they are the real deal. They are
fun to watch, man.
They are fun to watch. They absolutely are fun to watch. With Diggs and Allen, their relationship is unbelievable, honestly. And then now Gabriel Davis is playing a much bigger role this year.
Yeah, he's been doing really well.
Had an amazing game last week, too, as well. So he's stepping up, too. So I think if they can stay healthy more on the defensive side, that will be the team to beat in the AFC this year.
I totally agree. And a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl would be probably pretty legendary considering the fan base. I would love that just because of both fan bases, because I understand being just going to school up in upstate New York, I had a lot of Buffalo Bill fans. So I understood. So I know that diehard mafia, Bills Mafia, I understand that. I lived it. I saw it. So I really understand how they're much similar to Philly fans as well. They're just we're all crazy. We're all psychos. So
I would be really excited. I would just be excited just to go to the tailgame at that Super Bowl, because I know that would just be a great show as well, too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So a big part of football, or just in any sport in general, is the working out aspect. I know you and I both know about those 7 a.m. lifts.
Right.
We got to get big bodies out there, man. You're taking hits all day. You got to be a big body. So, but obviously, the work ethic, like you talked about, is so important when it comes to football. And I know you talked about it a little bit, but how did it really train you to translate that work ethic into your other aspects of life? Say your work, your relationships, all that stuff.
I think it's just translating me because I was just we've been, like you talked about earlier, we've been waking up for those 6 a.m. lifts, those 7 a.m. to 5 a.m. runs. And I think it's just just waking up and just getting out of my bed at 6 o'clock every day just to get my grind going. And I think that just started from just all the sports we lived through, just waking up early and just understanding how we need to be on time to everything we do, and just translating that over to the field, just keeping that hunger mode, that hunger mentality, because you're in the weight room, you got guys that want to throw up more weight than you every day. So you need to keep that hunger in the weight room every day just to match their intensity level, to know that you're here, you're still here. You know what I mean? So, absolutely. And I think that translates a lot to just at work, just knowing that even on the days I don't want to do it, even on the days that I'm tired, I got to do it. And that came from football. Even though I want to go to that 6 a.m. lift, you got to do it or you're going to get in trouble. And that translates right over to work. Even if you don't want to do it, you're going to get fired. So it's just
you got to take care of your shit.
Take care of your stuff, especially when you get older. Like all that stuff becomes more and more important. So just football really gave me that organizational structure, just moving on to how to carry myself as a young adult now.
Yeah. And even after your football career ended, you still work out on a day-to-day basis. Do you feel that is something that not only benefits you for like from a physical standpoint, but does it also benefit you in a mental standpoint as well?
It does. It does. Some days you just, everybody has a rough day at practice. Everybody has a rough day at work, and sometimes it relieves your stress. It really just takes your mind away from everything that was going on those last 12 hours, 8 hours, or how long you worked, and just it puts you in a different ease. And I know, like, just working out at school, working out at college, like that was just like that time just to really work on yourself and really train your body to become a better you. So I think that was just like what we really talk about a lot is just understanding like how we like to become better in every aspect in our life. So we like to become better on the football field. We like to become better in the classroom. We like to become better just in life in general. So it was just understanding those three things and how that translates now that football has been removed from my life in some capacity, not all capacity, but in some capacity. I just understand like, no, I still have to get that grind, understand and just work better on myself and take my mind away from sometimes all the outside noise.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think, like, obviously you said it's definitely a stress reliever, but also it can really be a good way to start your day as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are some crazy people out there that are up at 5 a.m. every morning. That couldn't be me. But if you are one of those people and you're able to get in the gym that early and you go out and you start your day on that high note, man, good for you. Like it is, and it makes you feel accomplished. It puts you in like a positive attitude going into that day.
Absolutely.
It's definitely like I highly suggest like even if it doesn't have to be you have to be like the biggest person out there. You don't have to do strength training, but just exercise. It always puts you in a better, like, how do I say this? It puts you in more like kind of like a light shining over you in a way.
Absolutely.
Just puts you in a good mood.
Just puts you in a good mood.
Yeah, puts you in a good mood.
You forget everything that happened those last few hours that you have work or you have practice too. It gets you out of that mindset too.
Absolutely, man. Now, when it comes to working out, let's say it's been a long day. We're ready to relieve some stress. What is your go-to beast mode workout song?
I think my go-to beast mode workout song, it changes a lot. It changes, but I think my go-to is Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. So
it has to be, bro. If you're from this area, it has to be.
It's my go-to. That's easily my go-to. Once I hear that, if I have my earpods on, if I got the speaker on at the gym, like it's bumping. I'm ready. Yeah. It's time to go now. It's time. It's like that's like the time to really lock in now and just focus on myself now.
Mm-hmm. Now, going into music a little bit, for those who are listening, I think DB and I will agree that we like to fight over the aux cord from now and then. We both really love our music. So
fight for it. That's huge.
I do be fighting for that thing, but no, because when DB gets locked, it's DJ Herbo all the way. But now I there's been so many instances where you put on a song and I'm just like, wow, this is an awesome song, and like I haven't heard this before. All that. How do you always seem to find those like kind of underground songs from great artists, and like kind of put other people onto that music?
I think it's two things. I think the first thing is my little brother Titus. He loves music as well. He listens to like a lot of those underground rappers too. A lot of the rappers we wouldn't really listen to, but a lot of rappers that some other people would listen to. So I think one is my brother. We talk a lot about music, both just in the industry and just in the underground world too. So I think that's one. And then I think the second one is I have a pretty long drive every day for work. So I honestly have days where I just pick an artist and like I just start playing all his music. honestly. And
Yeah.
for that car ride there and back, and then that's how I really find those gems, as we like to talk about. Like I
Yeah,
find
like the kind of underground ones that you like
right,
overlook.
right, absolutely. So that's how I really find those. It just some days I just pick an artist, any of my artists, any of my favorite artists, or just an artist that I really haven't listened to in a while, and just really just listen to their music.
Yeah, man. If for those listening, if you ever need a playlist, DB's the way to go. All right, so I want to play a little game here.
Okay.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna have a rapper draft. So we
Okay.
each get 3 picks. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay.
We each pick 3 rappers,
Okay.
and we'll leave it up to the audience to decide who wins.
Okay.
All right, hit me with your first
wait,
round.
wait. So who? Any rules? You got any rules? Like any rapper? Like
Any rappers, bro. Any rapper. Yeah.
all right. So you go first because it's your
No, you go first. I'm putting this pressure on you.
No, you go first because I already know who you're gonna say is number one. So I need to.
You already know, bro. It's Drake.
Right.
It's Drake.
Okay. You can have Drake.
All right.
I'll take Meek.
You take Meek? Okay.
I'll take Meek Mill. Come on.
I know you love your Meek.
Yeah, I love Meek. So I gotta take Meek. Gotta take Meek on that one.
I'm gonna go a little underrated here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's very underrated, but he's been, bro. I gotta go Gunna. I love Gunna, bro.
Okay.
It's a high. It's a little like high for him because I know that he hasn't been around for the longest. But man, his songs are catchy. You can listen to them pregame. You can listen to them to vibe. Just any type of mood, I can listen to Gunna.
Absolutely. Okay, you gonna go Gunna? I gotta go Lil Baby.
Lil Baby's crazy.
Lil Baby is just, man. He's this the past 2 years he's just been on a run, but just in general, his music is just beautiful. Like Chu said, it's another one you can vibe to. You can use it as pregame, and you can use it as a party music too. Sometimes in some instances too. So, Lil Baby's easily number 2.
All right, I'm gonna go with a throwback for my third. I'm gonna go with a throwback.
I'll go throwback then.
Okay, I gotta go Biggie, bro.
Ooh.
I love it when you call me Big Pop.
As you can see though, I'm with Tupac though.
You're with oh, he has the shirt on and everything. Oh.
I got the shirt on and everything. So
wow.
Yeah, come on. I came prepared. I knew he was going to do something.
Oh wow! All right, well we're gonna throw a little clip of this up on Instagram, and we'll throw a poll in, and we'll see what the audience decides. I like your picks, bro. I like your picks.
Team Herbo for the win, y'all. Team Herbo for the
win. So let me like going into music a little more. It obviously means a lot to you. So what is it that you look for in music that makes it something that you appreciate so much? Is it like is it the beat? Is it the lyrics? Like, what do you look into a song where you're like, dang, I really like this song?
So I use music a lot for therapy for me for most of the days. So yeah. I think it's a combination of everything. It's obviously the beat. It has to be the lyrics too, and then honestly, just the artist and just what they're really trying to portray in that song too. So I think all 3 of those are really like my biggest 3 takeaways every time I listen to a song that I like or something like that as well.
I don't think enough people really are able to appreciate rap, especially because like you hear like certain artists that like kind of put a I hate to diss them, but like guys like 6ix9ine, they put like kind of like a bad rep on rap.
Right.
When in the same genre, technically, you hear guys like J. Cole, Kendrick, who are literally making art and telling stories through like entire albums.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, and that's the gem that I think a lot of people really don't really grasp is just how rappers like that, like those J. Cole's, those Meek Mills, Drake, like they're painting a picture for you in their album.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people don't understand like the picture they're trying to paint and what those rappers are going through at that time of the time they're making that music. So Rod Wave is another one. I'm a real
Rod Wave, 100%, man.
He paints pictures every time, and he talks about his life. So you really, and every time I feel like as a listener, you really grow a bigger connection to those to certain rappers, just because they might be going through the same stuff you went through, and you never know until you hear a lyric and you really ran it back and understood the lyrics that he's really talking about.
Yeah, you got to think outside yourself.
You gotta think.
No, but 100%. Like one of my favorite songs of all time is "Kevin's Heart" by J. Cole, and it's a song portraying like basically the idea that Kevin Hart gets tempted to cheat, which is what happened to him. He ended up cheating on his wife, and it shows he's like telling the story about how Kevin, as a celebrity, he gets tempted because of all these clout chasing like women that are out there that are like trying to like sleep with him and stuff like that. And it's an unfortunate circumstance for him to go through, but it's so important for like J. Cole to paint these pictures so we can see into the lives of those that we may not like relate to on a normal basis if we don't hear that.
Absolutely. And I think J. Cole really does paint a lot of great pictures, especially in his albums. Not even in his album. I think every song he really does touch. He paints a great picture. I think Lil Baby's starting to do that more and more now too. I think what really started that was the Bigger Picture, when he dropped the Bigger Picture.
Oh, when he came out with the Bigger Picture during that tough time, it was.
So for the viewers, those who don't know, like Bigger Picture came out around the passing of George Floyd, and that's when all the Black Lives Matter came into effect. It came into effect. It always was in effect, but it really became big during that time. And Lil Baby really dropped a song just talking about just how what's going on in America, and how it's just like he says it's bigger than black and white. Like it's just so he just paints a picture, and just like it's beautiful. I mean, like all the artists, like especially artists like that just take the time and really perfect their craft I think it's mind blowing. I really think it's mind blowing.
And before we move on to another topic, there's one more question I have. So, of the artists that have passed, like rest in peace, Pop Smoke, Mac Miller, all these guys, recently PNB Rock, who would you love to hear just one more album drop out of nowhere, out of all of the rappers that are and artists that have passed away?
I got to go with PNB Rock. I got to go with PNB Rock. I do want to hear one more album with him. Just the passing of him, just maybe turn on his music again, just listen to all his music, and just how he really just made it from Philly, and now how he just really wanted to provide for his family. And I really have a lot of love for PNB just because of just how he really carried himself really at the end, towards the end of his life, and how he just wanted to stay out the way but just still make music. So it was just I think I want one more album with him. Rest in peace, PNB. But I gotta go with PNB.
Yeah, and he's another guy where like his songs are very upbeat, and he has a beautiful voice. So I think he's one of the ones that people paid a little less mind to the lyrics that he was putting out there, but they were actually like real life situations that he could have been going through. And so like I think it's really important for people to not just put rap, like slide it under the table as if it's people are just talking gibberish. People are talking about real things that they go through, and it's important to notice that.
It is. And that's their way of just having like that's their way of expressing themselves. That's how artists like those really express themselves, is as we see it, like our stress reliever is the weight room or going for a run or stuff like that. That's their stress reliever. Those are those people's stress reliever. So like, it's really important, like how they're really taking the time to perfect something so perfect to come out. Cause they do a lot of revisions and just to make sure it's perfect for the listener's view, but it's not.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing is just like, understand like the time it really takes for a craft, like especially like the greats to drop albums after album that's their hit. So I think it's just like that's their therapy, and like I think that's their stress reliever. A lot of them go just get in the booth and start rapping, or they'll just start, and then that's how they make music.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you put that into perspective for the people listening. Now, I'm glad you showed that shirt because I wanted to move on to another passion of yours, which is the fits. Now, for those that are listening, DB is incredible when it comes to his fits. Whether we're dressing up to
Okay,
go out or we're
I'm okay.
dressing up.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh, stop that! Stop being humble.
I'm okay.
Um, but whether it's formal dressing or we're going out, DB always comes correct when it comes to what he's wearing. So I'm curious, when did you really start paying attention and appreciating like the idea of like getting together a nice outfit?
I think I want to say I really started really appreciating like just this fashion alone. I think going into college. I think my freshman
Mhm.
year of college. One, just because of how I'm not. It was a different environment. College had a lot of people from the city, from New York
Mhm.
City. A lot of people from upstate New York. So
Yeah.
everybody wore different clothes and had different styles. So I really started paying attention to other people's style. My roommate for 4 years. Shout out to E. He he's from the city, so he thinks he always had that New York fashion, but he also but like that, but he had that sense of like this New York fashion, just understanding like just the outfits and just putting fits together too. So like um
Gotcha.
and then my brother too is like another one just that helped me really pay attention because he also has a lot of great fits. I talk to him a lot about fits
Mhm.
as well. So
Now, do you like to follow certain fashion trends, or do you kind of stay in your own lane when it comes to that?
I like to stay in my own lane because everybody's fashion is different from each other, and
Hmm.
I feel like you can't replicate everybody's fashion because it's very unique to their own stuff. It's one on
Yeah.
one. It's only
Hmm.
what they wear. So I don't really follow the fashion because I want to just make sure, like I talked about earlier, like I'm comfortable with myself. So I don't want to just go out there and buy
Yeah.
all the latest stuff because that's the trend. I just want to be comfortable with what I look good in and go from there.
Absolutely, and that's something I want to throw it over to like sneakers a little bit because I know
Right,
that's something that we both are
right.
big into. But yeah, it's absolutely something that people can fall into when it comes to
Absolutely.
sneakers. Is like what's the most expensive pair out there? The
Right,
Yeezys, the
right.
Off Whites, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I think coming from like how much I love sneakers, I know how much
Hmm.
you love sneakers too. I think it's just more important to find what you like. What
Absolutely.
what's what
Absolutely.
you're going to see and be like, oh, I would love to wear that. I would love to
Absolutely.
have that on my feet, have that on like my body. Like it's yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the most important part. Like I think people really like to like try to follow trends, and sometimes the trends don't look good on you, but they look good on someone else. So like, like it's just understanding like you have to be comfortable with finding your own fashion, and then that's how you expand yourself. Just finding
Mhm.
what you like to wear. What fits do you like to buy, and what colors you like. And I think that's how it really starts off.
So when you go, like, let's say you go shopping for like a fit or just in
Right.
general,
Right.
do you go with the intention to like find a like a whole outfit together, or do you just kind of browse and see what you like?
It depends. I think it's a little bit of both. I think depending on when I'm going shopping, if I'm
Hmm.
going shopping for an occasion, then I'm just looking for certain stuff. And like
Yeah.
most of the times, I already have like ideas in my head, so I just have to go to the store and just see the outcome of that. And then other times, just I just pick out stuff that I like, and then I know what I have at home too that complements whatever items I pick at the store. So it's a combination of both, honestly. It's just looking
Hmm.
if I have a special event I need to go to, I need to make sure I got the right clothes for that. But if I'm just out shopping, I just know what I have in my closet and what I can add to the closet to make it even better.
Got you, got you. Now, speaking of shoes, I got two questions for you when it comes to shoes.
Okay.
What are your favorite shoes that you have in your closet right now, and what are any pair of shoes in the world that you wish you could have in your closet right now?
Okay. My favorite pair. Ooh, My favorite pair has to be the Cool Grays.
Ooh, the Cool
Cool
Grays
Grays
are
are my
tough.
favorite. Yeah, Cool Grays easily are my favorite. But that's easily my favorite pair. That's a great sneaker.
Hmm.
I was actually really happy that I got that off the sneaker app. So that was probably one of my greatest sneaker app collections, honestly.
Yeah.
So gotta be Cool Grays as my favorite in my closet. Would I want? Mm, I think it gotta be. It's two. It's two. I think the ones that I always wanted was the bread 11s.
Ooh, the Bread 11s.
Yeah, yeah. And Adam has them. Adam's lucky his feet are too small for mine because I would have took them by now.
Yeah, you would have snagged those real quick.
Maybe had to snatch them off his feet. But bread, shout out to Adam. And the bread 11s, and then I think the other ones got to be like the off white Air Force ones,
Which ones?
the blue ones.
The blue. Oh, the blue
Yeah,
ones are
yeah,
crazy,
the
bro.
blue ones. Yeah, the
They
blue
are
ones.
so
Yeah, the
nice.
blue ones. Yeah, the blue ones. So I think that I love that colorway. I just like how it looks, and I mean it's very expensive, but like if anybody listening want to buy me that for a Christmas, just hit me up. Size 13. That's all. Just hit me up. Yeah, but no, seriously though, those are the two sneakers that I need. That I
Mhm.
really wish I have in my sneaker collection too. Honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Adam, and we have our like little group of six. Shout out Jay, Meek, T, Adam.
That's the
I,
boy.
I want to know when it comes to the close relationships, both our group and also the ones you have from college and stuff. What do they truly mean to you, and how important is it to have those types of people in your times of need?
I think what it means a lot. I mean, like those close group, those six guys you just said. Shout out to the gang, and also like my friends from school. A couple, just to name is E's one of my roommate for 4 years, and Kai and Gabe, and they're like family. Like all those guys, including you guys, Saeed and Lucas too, Eli, all are fam. And Trey. I'm sorry. I got to name all the gang because I know, but they're all family to me. Like I know those guys for 5 years now too, and my group is going on 10 years now. So like it becomes a family. You see each other every day, and it's just important. It's really important to me because like you have those people that you can lean back onto outside of your family.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you don't want to tell your family everything, but like
Mhm.
and but so you have those guys, and I think it's important to have those guys that you can lean on because they are like like we talk about. They're people our age. They know us really well, and like they're a safe haven for us too. Like you can just
Yeah.
really just talk to your boys and just understand like what's going on, understand like what you need to do to get better, and just like have those people as your support group because it's if you don't really have a good support system, I feel like you can't really go excel to the next level of yourself. Like you really need to have like a good support group, honestly. So I think having a great support system with all those guys, even the girls too, Abby, Maya, and Julie, shout them out too. Like all those ones are like those are important. Like those like the girls are my girl relationship are important too because like they mean a lot to me too and
It's a
just
different
having
perspective
it
as
is,
well.
and absolutely, and it's a different perspective,
Yeah.
and it teaches you a lot about them. So
Hmm.
not just about people, just about yourself in general too.
Yeah. I think that the biggest part is also like having people that you're able to be vulnerable in
Absolutely,
front of.
absolutely,
I like. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I used to care so much about what others thought.
right,
And when you find those certain people that will not judge you, regardless of what the decisions you make,
absolutely,
and they will love you for
absolutely,
genuinely who you are, those are the people you always want to keep around. Those are the
absolutely.
people that are
That's
for lifers.
that's the most important part, honestly. It's just you hit it on the head. Like I think you just got to feel more. If you feel vulnerable, you can open up to them and be vulnerable with them. I think that's the best relationship you have with a friend
Hmm.
because now you guys both hit that vulnerable point that you guys need to lean on each other to help each other get out of that vulnerable point. And now you guys understand your vulnerable points. And now a person like for you, you know majority of my vulnerable points, mostly all of them. And so like you know how to talk to me when I'm in those vulnerable moments, and like vice versa for me as well too. So it's just like understanding just how to just be vulnerable with a person, and it's hard, but like you just have to make sure you find that right person, those right relationships to really be vulnerable. And all those people I named, I've been vulnerable to one or many more times. So like, and and I understand like they're not going to go out and tell everybody my business. Like it's just,
Absolutely.
I think that's important. Like like we have the talking, and I start talking, they're going to make sure we're right. So it's important.
Yeah, there's like a great like saying where it's like, do you want somebody to just be a listener, or
Right.
do you want someone to be a problem solver? And
Absolutely.
I think the most important people in your lives are those that can be both.
Absolutely.
Like like
Absolutely.
like I know if I came to you and I was like, "Hey, Denarii, I just need you to like vent. I just need you to listen."
Right.
You'd be there.
Right.
I also know if I came and I was like, "Hey, Denarii, I need help with something," and then I tell you what I need help with, you'd be there as well.
Absolutely.
And it's those types of people that really help you in the times of need.
Absolutely.
And going off of that into like the topic of mental health, I think that mental health is really overlooked, especially when it comes to the game of football.
Hmm.
Um, there's not that many. Football is basically a sport where you're like kind of built to be tough.
Right.
So it doesn't really seem like there are a lot of guys that are open to that vulnerability. Do you think that's something that has kind of been built through the game, or is it something that like we could work on in the future?
I think it started to be, it has been like, it's been built through the game as football. Like you said, football players just seem tough. Like everything's tough about us. But like, as you can see, like the past couple, 3 years now, a lot of the athletes are opening up about their mental health
Yeah,
because a lot of people don't realize like these athletes go through a lot of things, a lot of
yeah,
different things, whether it's academic, life, or in the sports world. That all plays a factor. And I don't think a lot of people understand. It's like the mental health for a student athlete is a lot. It demands a lot from you. Demands a lot from you, both on the field and off the field, in the classroom as well. So I think it's just like it's important. Like mental health is definitely important. I think you can see a lot of the NFL players, just a lot of athletes alone, just coming out talking about mental health because I feel like a lot of people uh, have like just have this have a problem with just saying they need help or they have their mental health issues. So I think that's
mhm,
just like important just to understand, like especially now that I feel like athletes that are coming out talking about mental health, I feel like now it's more talked about because the younger generations are bringing that up too and carrying that with them into the sport of football as well too. So it's
yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
important.
There's a guy in the Red Sox organization whose name's Alex Verdugo. He's our left fielder, and last year they were in Yankee Stadium, and a
Mm-hmm.
Yankee player threw a ball at him. Like not like anything like soft or like a water bottle or something. He threw a ball at him. And it puts into perspective that they're so like people don't really look at athletes as people
Right.
sometimes. They
Absolutely.
just kind of look at them as entertainment that they can do
Absolutely.
whatever they want to. I have
Absolutely.
a friend, Darian Wrench. He was a running back for Clemson, and
Right.
Clemson is a very southern school.
Right.
So there were times where he told me like there's some like there's tons of people that will love me when I'm on the field,
Right.
but will disrespect the hell out of me when I'm off it.
Right.
And and people don't really realize that like it makes like it doesn't sound soft to say, but like
Right.
some people can take it that way, but it's like athletes have feelings too. Athletes go
Exactly.
through the same stuff you go through every day. They were brought up with same like the same type of childhood that you had. They went through the same teenage years you had. They are living the different lives, but they have the same emotions, feelings, everything that they go through that
Absolutely.
you do. And when it comes to mental health, that's something that needs to be known because we can't like when Kevin Love came out about his meant like his panic attacks and stuff, he was kind of like made fun of a little bit. But that can't be the case when he's just a guy, same as you are.
Right. Right. And I think, and Kevin Love coming out of just about that, a lot of guys, I don't think people understand that. A lot of guys get a lot of nerves before the games, and they throw up. They have, like some people might just pass out. Like, people don't understand that stuff unless you really been in it. So, like, I think just talking about all that, like that anxiety, that comes before a game, like that stuff's real. Like that stuff is really real. And like a lot of the adrenaline kicks in and everything at the end of the day, but like that fear of just not being perfect, and especially for athletes, just not being perfect and not doing the job correctly, that they know that's going to take consideration. That's going to come into consideration every time, especially with social media, to remind them every day too. So like, I feel like that's just like, that also plays a lot of mental part now, I think, for athletes. It's just that social media aspect now, because now they're getting hit from every side, from outside noise with social media, from people just walking around the street. Like, they're getting hit from all different angles. So like I think,
even though we like to like clown sometimes, think about Ben Simmons.
Right.
Like Ben Simmons would be casually in the mall.
Absolutely.
And people would come up to him and like say like, your jump shot's broke and stuff like that.
Right.
He's just a normal human being, guys.
Right.
Like it's tough. And I think that's like I know that athletes are kind of put on a pedestal with what they receive, the treatment they get, like the money they get. But that does not mean that we are people, like the public, is free to just do whatever they want or say whatever they want to them.
Absolutely. And I think that's important. I think a lot of the fans are starting to stray away from that and not seeing athlete as humans anymore.
Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head with that. It's just seeing them they're not seeing him as a person anymore. They're just seeing him as a person who's performing on the field, and that's it. And if they don't perform how they want them to perform, that's why people act how they act. So
yeah, that's awesome to hear. Well, DB, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. We talked about a lot of different stuff, and I really appreciate it. You're one of my best friends in this world. And I'm really glad that we got you on here. So I want to thank you. And also, if you wouldn't mind, right before we go, I'd really appreciate you to share with the listeners one mantra you live by.
I got you. But first, one thing, Chooch, I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm very proud of you, Chooch, and everything you do. I'm very proud of you just lifting off this podcast and just really taking the initiative to start this podcast. And I don't know if a lot of people doesn't know this, but when Chooch puts his mind to something, it's getting done. So, like, I just want to reiterate, like, I'm really proud of you, Chooch, and proud that you're doing well and everything, just on baseball and with this podcast. And I'm going to keep watching it grow. So that's how we live by.
Thank you.
So I'm proud of you, Chooch. And you're one of my best friends, bro. So I'm really happy for you, too. A motto I live by. I think it's fear and ignorance is my motto I live by. I think my fear and ignorance is my motto I live by. My dad wrote that motto for us during COVID. The time, especially during the time when we was on lockdown. So
yeah,
my dad just had to sit down with us and just talked about like just how we better the family coming out of the COVID. So like, first thing he wrote down was just fear and ignorance, and just not having, like everybody has the fear to try something new. Everybody has the fear to try something new. Everybody's going like, oh, I might not do well. I might look bad at first, but like, you never know. You never know until you really do it, until you try it. And then once you try it, then you can start crossing it out. Like, okay, I'm not good at this. So now let me go try something else. But like, you would never get to that point unless you didn't have that fear. So like, fear and ignorance is just like, it's on my phone. I look at it every day. It's my wallpaper on my phone too. So like, it's always just having that ability to try something and keep asking questions, like we talked about in this podcast. We just always ask questions and continue to better yourself. So fear and ignorance is my motto I live by every day.
I really like that you said that, and to kind of touch on it a little bit, like there's something that is really important, like in this world when it comes to fear. And you're going to be scared at some points. There's going to be things that you're scared to do. That's just how life works. But sometimes you have to say, screw it. I'd rather do it scared than not do it at all.
Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing my dad was really trying to instill both in my whole family. Just, like, it's okay if you fall down, but it's just how you're going to get up. And I think that's the biggest part. And it's just like, just keep striving, just to keep going. You might get knocked out 10 times out of 20, but how you going to be on that? How you going to be on that 19th time? How you going to be on that 11th time? Like, it all just grows and sharpens the iron all the time. So, like, just living by that every day, that really is just another just fuel to the fire for me too.
You're the man. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thank you, DB, for being on here. You're the man.
Guys. Appreciate you. Thanks, Juice. Appreciate you, bro.